So, I got a lot of predictions wrong. Right, hello, I am the Irish Guy. This is the Prem Catch-Up. Let's take a look at what happened in the Premier League during the midweek matches. And oh boy! Right, let's go. Man United 3, Ipswich 2. Patrick Dorgu, no! What have you done? This might just be the single worst home debut in Premier League history. Come on, this young Danish left wing back was making his first ever Premier League start at Old Trafford, and it legitimately could not have gone worse. After 3 minutes, he has a major mix-up with Onana, not raising his head once to even look his goalie in the face, and just passes the ball blindly behind him for Jaden Philogene to tap in an early goal. That was bad. It was really bad, but it's okay. His teammates dig him out of a hole to go 2-1 up shortly after, and then, just before halftime, he gets sent off for a horror tackle on Amari Hutchinson. That is wild. That's almost Jonathan Woodgate levels of nightmare debuts. To put it in comparison, if he was a young chef, this is like serving your customers armpit hair. And lads, Philogene equalized for Ipswich literally a minute after he was sent off the pitch. I wouldn't be shocked to learn that Amorim went nuts. Come on, Ipswich had just equalized. He'd just seen Garnacho turn into a moody brat once again after it was his turn to get subbed off before halftime. I'm guessing Joshua Zirkzee was so relieved, man, because imagine if he was subbed off before halftime for the second time in 2 months. And that would be about as embarrassing as if his mum ran onto the pitch to give him a kiss. But no, it was Garnacho's turn. And after he so very nearly was sold to Chelsea, after fighting for his Manchester United future, oh no, he's gone straight back to looking like he's got the stroppy ego of those awful Kardashian sisters. But Dorgu, I genuinely think this kid might have been verbally destroyed at halftime because that tackle was stupid. But lads, play the clip for my prediction.
2-1 Manchester United. Goal from Fernandes, Delap, and a late, clumsily bundled in winner from Maguire. Yeah, just a narrow 1-goal win over a club who he once stuck 9 past.
Yeah, I just successfully predicted that Harry Maguire would score the winning goal against Ipswich. I mean, it just perfectly fitted, didn't it? Because what Manchester United should be doing is romping to an easy 4-0 win over Ipswich. But no, the most unconvincing win is a 1-goal win over a struggling team, Maguire from a corner. That is the epitome of an unconvincing win. No Manchester United fan is ever going to be sticking this matchday program up on the fridge because that was pretty grisly. Cries up in the second half. Philogene almost completed his hat-trick. Philogene! I know he was linked with Barcelona last summer, but I think we can all agree those transfer rumors were about as credible as Theo Baker's hair transplant. Yeah, I'm guessing those Turkish doctors probably got their medical degree out of a cereal box, and all they did was just rub scrambled egg on his scalp. But yeah, my point is that Jaden Philogene is not a scary prospect, and yet he so very nearly became just the second player, the second ever opposition player to net a Premier League hat-trick at Old Trafford. It would just be him and Salah. Imagine if that had happened. And you imagine. Crystal Palace 4, Aston Villa 1. Eddie Nketiah has scored a goal. I repeat, Eddie Nketiah has scored a goal. Everyone, slap on your party hats. This is sick behavior. This feels like something truly wild just happened. Like a dog has just given birth on the moon. Or that Big Sam has agreed to put down the fork. This is huge. And it's only taken him until the end of February to bag his first Premier League goal for Palace. It happened from 3 yards, which my mum would have scored. Palace have been trying to sign Nketiah for at least 3 years. August 2021 was the first time they tried to steal him from Arsenal. So the fact they've been obsessed with him so long, and so to finally get him, almost making him their club record signing, and for him to now be this shy in front of goal, it's like waiting years and years for the Joker sequel, and then when you finally get it, it's just some dumb Lady Gaga concert. Nketiah has been such a huge letdown, but hey, he's finally scored. As for Villa, oh boy, their Premier League form has turned into total mud. Lads, if Philip Jorgensen had not fumbled that last minute Asensio strike into his own net last weekend, then Unai Emery would have failed to win any of his last 7 Premier League matches. Doesn't that just stink of the form which got him sacked at Arsenal? Yeah, back in November 2019, he was binned after no wins in 7 Premier League games. Right now, Villa are showing Arsenal form. I'm not saying he should be sacked. No, of course not. Are you kidding me? They're on the cusp of a Champions League quarter-final. And it only feels like 5 minutes ago this club were in the business of hiring horrible thieves. But this is surely a dreadful result. What is it about Sellers Park that terrifies Villa? Because that is now 12 goals Villa have conceded on the last 3 trips to this ground. And here they were, blown away by birthday boy Ismaila Sarr. And, just play the clip.
Rashford scoring his first Aston Villa goal, Rodgers with the other.
Okay, Rabona. If Rodgers scores tonight, alright, then I will pour an entire box of cornflakes over my head in public.
No! No!
Okay, hello. Hello, you okay? Sorry, yes. Waters.
No way do Aston Villa lose here. If they do, then I will get a stranger to write whatever they want on my face.
Excuse me, can you write on my face? How are you doing? Could I get you to, write whatever you want on my head? You okay with that?
Yeah, well,
Go with it. Go, write whatever you want. I hope this is... Oh, Aston Villa, why did they have... Oh, I have... Thank you, sir. Keep the pen. No, you're good. Thank you.
all right.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1. So, Bournemouth lost? Oh, goody. Doesn't that feel like you've just eaten a handful of sweaty Skittles that have been in John Goodman's shirt pocket for a month? It feels like only a minute ago the Cherries were on the cusp of the Champions League. And now, oh, they're just a point above Fulham. Fulham are about as scary as a smiling Pikachu. Look, I love how it is so tight between 3rd and 11th. 10 points separate that, which is hilarious. If Arsenal are still dreaming about the title, then Brentford can probably still have wild fantasies about finishing 3rd. But, oh boy, I so badly wanted to see Bournemouth in the Champions League, but that's 3 defeats in the last 4 games. They are slipping a little bit. I mean, lads, here were the Cherries playing against a team who lost by 7 to a team who Bournemouth beat by 5, all in the last month. So really, if you want to be a proper nerd and focus on the numbers, then Bournemouth should be 12 goals better than the Seagulls, right? But no, they lose, and well, play the clip.
Let's go with Brighton winning 2-1. Goals from Jean Pedro, and Minamino. And for Bournemouth, I don't know, Clivert?
Yeah. What a genius start for Rabona TV. When he accurately called this one, almost to a perfect tee, it looked like he might be the chosen one. Somebody who could wrestle Anfield agenda off the top. He got 33 points. I mean, to be fair, I shouldn't chortle like a turtle. I got 35. Well, lads, he said that Chelsea versus Southampton would be a 0-0 draw. Come on, Rabona, you're not going to creak into the top half of this leaderboard when you do your predictions immediately after clearly eating a poisoned chocolate muffin. I can only assume he must have let an evil bunny rabbit crawl up his nose and into his brain before he splurted out that horrible score. Thinking Southampton would keep a clean sheet at Stamford Bridge is a bit like me naively thinking that horses can fly. They can't. West Ham 2, Leicester 0. Leicester City are absolute rubbish. I'm sorry, but lads, why is Rude still in a job? People are trying to trick us into thinking that this is a former world-class player now turned young super coach on the block. No, he's been retired for yonks. He retired 7 years before Vincent Kompany did. That is the next world-class player now turned world-class boss. Van Nistelrooy? What's he been doing all this time? Picking his nose on the couch? Look, I said this would be a 4-0 West Ham romp. No, it was only 2-0. But lads, the fact that Leicester are still persisting with the nearly 40-year-old Jamie Vardy up front. No. I mean, I know he's made me consistently smell like ice cream this season. But no, the only way he can outpace defenders at his age now is if he was playing at my puny level. Honestly, lads, watch me rip a 50-year-old right back to bits. Oh, look at that glorious first touch. It's like Zidane. How did I not score? Look at this masterful dribbling. I turned their defense into wet toast. I nearly scored that one too. But back to Leicester. Sorry, lads. I know it's mean to sack 2 managers in 1 season, and it massively stinks of Fulham of old. But get in Dyche, and if Dyche says no, well, why not Brian Prisk? The bloke who just embarrassingly and disgracefully lost his job to Van Persie after recently slapping Bayern Munich 3-0? What? Okay. Unfairly losing your job to a Dutch Premier League winning Manchester United legend striker. So now take the job of a Dutch Premier League winning Manchester United legend striker. It's only fair. Go out there and get BP. Chelsea 4, Southampton 0. Southampton are truly garbage. Does anyone feel sorry for Aaron Ramsdale? It should show you how desperate goalkeepers can get when they wind up somewhere on the bench. Moving clubs as a goalkeeper is impossibly hard because clubs rarely need a new goalie, which is why when a goalie is on the move, he rarely gets the level of club he deserves. Tries about David De Gea, recently seen as the best goalie on the planet, linked with Real Madrid every summer. Yeah, when he finally left Old Trafford, he had to spend a year on the couch. And Ramsdale, as someone who nearly won a Premier League title with Arsenal, as their #1 goalkeeper, a player of his quality deserves an Aston Villa. No, the likes of Villa just so happen to randomly have officially the best goalkeeper on the planet, and so would have looked at someone like Ramsdale by comparison as if he was some ugly zombie who stinks of cheese. No, the best Ramsdale can get is newly promoted Southampton, who are about as likely to survive as the babysitter in any horror film. Surely he should have known when signing his 4-year contract. He should have noticed that his teammates are no more talented than sausage roll crumbs, and now he's locked into an awful team or getting slapped every week. It's back to the championship for you, buddy. Chelsea? Look, Chelsea weren't brilliant, but they didn't have to be, because they were coming up against utter wolf vomit. Easy 4-0. Kunku, Pedro, Colwill and Cucurella. And do you know how much of an insult this was to Southampton? Chelsea finished the game with children on the pitch, treating this game as if it was a school Christmas play, hiring George, Josh Achiampong, Matis Amagugu, and Shimayuka, who nearly scored with his first touch. I can guarantee you, at least 90% of you will have never heard of at least half those kiddies. And if you have, then I would suggest somebody check your internet history. Amagugu sounds like a noise a baby makes when it wants milk. And this fella is surely the only footballer in the world whose name is Shim. To show how young this Chelsea striker is, he wasn't even alive when Mourinho first got sacked. Honestly, I can't remember where I was when I heard that shocking, awful news. This fella was doing nothing other than cause his mum to vomit in her morning bowl of Frosties. I don't know, do pregnant women have Frosties for breakfast? I don't know. Ask Trent. Well, as Chelsea treated the last 20 minutes like this was an FA Cup match against someone like Grimsby Town. There should be no bigger insult to Southampton's self-esteem than that. Chelsea emptying their bench of children and getting away with it. Southampton are shockingly awful. Even yours looks like that type of weirdo who poses as a doctor at hospitals so he can lick chicken pox off someone's cheek. He looks like that greasy stranger who could be found eating a dead dog behind his local bus station. But one thing is for sure, he is one of the worst coaches in Premier League history. Frank de Boer wasn't even as bad as this. May I remind you, Southampton at the start of the season had dignity. They only lost one of their opening 13 games by more than 2 goals. And that was only when they had a man sent off against Manchester United. Newcastle, Nottingham Forest and Man City are in the top 6. Aston Villa are in the Champions League. Yeah, Southampton only lost 1-0 against all 4, and they only lost by 2 at the Emirates after going 1-0 up in the second half. Liverpool needed a late penalty to scrape a win at the Saints after finding themselves 2-1 down after an hour. I'm not going to say that Russell Martin knew what he was doing, because he didn't really. The wheels fell off under him too, conceding 5 in his last 2 home matches. But something weird happened to this squad at the start of December. Something happened because the Saints did not look anywhere close to being the worst Premier League side of all time. Not when they were leaving the Etihad with a 1-0 defeat. They were at least competitive in matches, but nowadays, under this four-eyed dentist, sorry that was mean, but under him, they look truly abominable. Wolves 1, Fulham 2. You know what was the single craziest thing that happened in this match? Ryan Sessegnon scored a goal. I thought he was dead. Brentford 1, Everton 1. So Beto is back to being rubbish after turning a corner under David Moyes briefly. Oh, this Guinea-Bissau striker is now telling the world that he belonged in the Prem. Yeah, here he was missing not 1, not 2, but 3 one-on-ones. Lads, he's the modern day Joe. Someone in Moyes got to tune out of for a month, up top for the Toffees 15 years ago, but then went on to have a pretty awful European career. Only scoring goals on a regular basis in places like Japan. Sorry, Beto, but I don't think you've arrived. I just think you're having a purple patch. But look, this was still a brilliant point for Everton after Jacob Ryan's late header snatched the point. Get in, by the way, because I've been talking up this guy for yonks. Christ, well, he was unreal in Lyon's defense last season, and he even scored in the cup final against actual PSG. So I'm glad to see him finally doing well under Moyes. But Beto, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 0. So that's it. The title race is officially done. It's been stamped out because the Gunners chose not to buy a striker. Here we have Mikel Arteta still persisting with putting Mikel Merino up front. Him bagging a brace at Leicester City was the single worst thing that could have happened, because it has fooled Arteta into thinking that Eminem can be a striker. He can't. I promise you he can't. Raheem Sterling is a goal scorer. Only one player in Arsenal's history had more Premier League goals than Sterling when they were at the club, and that man's name is Thierry Henry. Arsenal are screaming out for a striker. Well, this dinosaur arm bloke has played over 60 games in his career up front as a centre forward. That's where he played all of his last season at Liverpool, after everyone realised that Mario Balotelli was a washed up chipmunk. And yeah, no, Arteta persists with Mourinho instead. Someone who offers the goal threat of an orange. Sorry, Arteta, but you've nobody to blame but yourself. Tottenham 0, Man City 1. Tottenham versus Manchester City was a huge, pivotal, late season game in the title race last season. Nowadays, this match pretty much means nothing. But yeah, here was Erling Haaland scoring the only goal in a pretty robust, good win for City, and VAR robbed him of an obvious second goal, but yeah, this match doesn't really mean much. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0. Oh no! The cup final is 2 weeks away, and Liverpool have just absolutely outclassed Newcastle United. To be fair, the Magpies were chucking Callum Wilson up front, somebody whose body no longer works, as proven by the fact that he went 1-1 with Alisson and nearly hit the corner flag. Honestly, lads, if Alexander Isak is ruled out of the cup final through injury, the Geordies might as well stay at home, because without him, they look so toothless. I don't want to disrespect Wilson, okay, because he has been a good servant for Newcastle, but honestly, I don't think he's ever joining the 100 goal Premier League club. He's like 20 goals behind, and his body is broken. I don't know if he's still doing a podcast with Mikel Antonio, but if he is, I'd imagine it is the most depressing listen on the internet. Both blokes are going to be in wheelchairs at 50. But look, this was a brilliant display from Liverpool. They've got the league sewn up. Szoboszlai and McAllister were 2 brilliant goals. But honestly, I'm trying to look for any sort of crumbs of evidence that Newcastle are going to be okay at Wembley. But this Liverpool team is so much better than the Man United team, which beat Newcastle in the final 2 years ago. So, I don't know, I guess they've replaced Longstaff with Tonali. I'm searching here. I mean, there's no more Dan Burn at left back, thankfully. But I'm trying to look for any morsels of evidence that Newcastle can win this. Liverpool looks so much better than Newcastle, like on another planet. I know it was home advantage, but I don't know. Well done to Liverpool for winning the league, but can Newcastle win the cup? Can they? Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know in the comments section what do you think on this game week. Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, please. I'll talk to you in a while. Are Newcastle going to win the cup or not?